It's the way the kids act. So the thing is, how do we try to maybe deal with the kids and try to,
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
I don't know. But I know when Dr. Zach was there,
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Where's the restroom?
Right there.
Thank you so much, by the way, for coming. I'm gonna have
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can I have everybody's attention up here, please? We're actually live on YouTube, streaming live right now. I want to thank everybody for coming out here. I'm your boy Sinister One of the booth, Sinister One Productions. And I want to thank everybody for coming out here to Sammy's spot, Gigi's Pub, and I just want to talk about this event real quick and get it kicked off and how this all came to be. It's actually a last minute throw together. I've had a lot of people reach out to me in the city. They've wanted me to put an event together that's kind of different, something that's going to really speak to the voters and the unopposed voters and those who undecided. And you know, I was sitting on the train commuting back and forth to Boston, and I'm a big fan of the show First 48. How many people out here are familiar with the show First 48? Put your hands up. First 48 is a show where if there is a murder, they have 48 hours to find the murderer. This is a reality TV show. And I thought about it and I said, Vote 48 is the name I came up with. And why I chose Vote 48 is for me is because I know who I'm voting for on Tuesday. But 48 hours before the election on Tuesday, there's a majority of people out there who are undecided, people who are on the fence. And we've already had months and months and weeks of asking all these people the questions and asking all the things they're going to do for our city. And one of the things I thought of is that if you're undecided at this point in time, 48 hours out, then all you really need to do is to hear right from this candidate as to what they're going to do for this city if they get in. If they've already got the seat, then they have to tell you what they're going to do for the next season if they're unopposed. So I feel like that this is an event that can become every biannual event or anytime we have a big election. I think this is something that everybody would come out for. It's very strategic. I've already seen Mr. Hook. He's got his people with signs. This is a great location here. And it's something I think that could be a positive thing for the city, positive for the elections. One of the things that I've been upset about, 8%. This last preliminary election, 8% of our census came out to vote. That's horrible. That's unacceptable. In the minority sector, 4% came out. In the presidential election, 4.5% came out in the presidential. That's unacceptable. In a city of this many people and this many minorities, those numbers should be in the double digits. And over the years, we've had some people who have lost elections by that undecided close vote. Here in Ward 5, Ollie Spears lost by 5 votes. Jay Stewart, I believe, lost by a small amount of votes. Jimmy Pereira lost by a few hundred votes. But when you look at that sway, that undecided, this is the type of event that I want to put out there to allow a candidate to say, okay, let me get my best 7 minutes. And this is why you should vote for me in those best 7 minutes. So I've got a timer all set up. So when you come up here, there's a timer. There'll be an alarm to know when you shut off. And one of the things you don't want, I want to make sure nobody goes over. Don't go over. You should have your 7 minutes done, ready to go. I want this to be very strategic. I want to thank Sammy. Let's give a big applause for Sammy. And Stella's. Give a big applause for Stella's for providing some pizza and some sandwiches for us. This is something we really want to build on for the city of Brockton. So when me and Sammy talked about using this location, one of the things Sammy asked me was, you know, how many people you think are going to come out? And I'm like, with a short notice like this, I was expecting only 3 politicians to answer. I said, I'll be happy if I get 3 with only 2 days notice. We have 10 politicians stepping in here tonight. So all the politicians who are showing up here tonight, that are here right now, please give a huge applause for yourself for coming here on a short notice, 48 hours away. And I'm going to actually allow my first candidate to come up and speak. I'll let her introduce herself, but she is running for Ward 5 Councilor. Ellie, I'm going to let you take the microphone up here.
Right now?
Yep.
Can I take it off the stand? Okay.
Hey, Evelyn.
I'm ready.
You don't want to talk? All right. That's cool.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ellie Texera, and I'm running for Ward 5 City Council, which is right here. So for everybody that is here, hopefully I will be your council. So why are you running for City Council? That question came from my 14 years old daughter, which caught me off guard because I thought if anybody knew why, it would be the people in my household. We had talked about why I'm running for office and why I spend so much time knocking on our neighbor's door to ask them about their concern. This is the same question voters are asking at the door. Why now? Why you? Here's the answer. Brockton is a great place to live, and I believe we are all in this together. From our homes to our blocks, our neighborhoods, our school district, we all want Brockton to be strong now and in the future. That is best seen in neighborhoods. Strong, safe, and sustainable neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are the heart and soul of our city. We need downtown to come alive with striving business and activity, but when people go home in their neighborhood, they would like to feel the same sense of pride. They need to feel safe and know that their neighbors are people who care for them and that they have a government that is working for them. We also need to bring businesses such as this one up so that way they can also flourish in the city. I'm running for City Council to create a long-term plan for our neighborhoods that will impact Brockton as a whole, a plan that promotes sustainable economic development, strong parks, and a sense of identity. I'm running for City Council to bridge the gap between the community and the government. I will consider the impact of decision to the residents and small business. I believe in transparency and integrity. I want to make sure that the people get educated on the issues facing us, such as tax increase. I believe when you have compassion, you put yourself in someone else's shoes. It makes you motivated to be fair and thoughtful. For business such as this one, I would like to develop a model that checks on business, new and old one, to develop a pro and con plan that works. Bring them together by hosting meetings and events in the ward that they can network and engage in business development. And for the residents, it's simple. Listen to them about their concern and not forget about them after they vote me in, of course. Open dialogue and communication always. I will apply my years of experience working with family in crisis to address the homelessness crisis in Brockton, along with the population of individuals living under the bridge of Court, Crescent, and Central Street, to address mental health and substance abuse that is playing out in plain sight in front of us. We can't just bust them away or add artwork to the bridge. Brockton has major state agencies such as DCF, DTA, Department of Housing, DDS, and Department of Mental Health, right here in the heart of the city. As a social worker to some of these agencies in your council, I will collab with these agencies as well as non-state agencies in the city to address how to best tackle these issues from the ground level. As many of you know, my kids are with me everywhere. And this is because I want them to know about their community and serve their community. Youth engagement is dear to my heart, but the city has failed these kids. We can no longer sit back, shrug our shoulders when another youth is killed. We need to provide these youth with an outlet where they are safe and comfortable. Parents need to know that they're sending their kids to a place where the children will be safe, but most importantly, a place that is affordable. The Boys and Girls Club or YMCA cannot be the only after-school program community center for these kids. I am a strong advocate of a multi-generation center where the old Crystal and Massasoit Conference was. If you want violence to decrease, we have to engage our youth or the streets will take them. The next DNA issue is the elderly. The condition that some of them are living in, no senior citizen should be living in a housing unit where they go without basic needs such as heat during the winter. I plan to visit and engage with seniors to ensure that they're in a livable, safe community in their home and work hand in hand with Brockton Housing Development to make sure that they're safe. These are the answers that I give the adults, the voters at the door. But do you know why I tell my daughter when she asks me why? I'm running for city council because I love this city. When you love something, you step up, you fight for it, and you do whatever it takes to make it better. I'm running for city council to serve my neighbors and to work hard on their behalf, to return every phone call, to address all concerns quickly and effectively. When we work together, we can move Brockton forward, not only for our children, but for our grandchildren's too. And that is certainly something worth fighting for. With your help, we can bridge the gap between city and government. Thank you. How much time do I have left?
1:52.
Okay, so real quick, look around and see who is here and who is not here. When you go to vote, cast your ballot on people that you see in the community doing the work every day, day in and day out. Don't just vote for the people that you're friends with. Don't just vote for the people that come to you. Vote for the people that you actually see doing the work. And everybody that is here, I can honestly say for the most of us, we've been working hard at this campaign. We've been knocking door. We've been just grassroots. That's how we've been doing it. So please, guys, first get out and vote because the turnout are very low, but also make sure that you guys vote for a better Brockton. We can't say we want a better Brockton if we don't take the time to put people in power that is investing in a better Brockton. Thank you, and I hope you guys all go out and vote. And good luck to everybody else.
You can give it to me. Let's hear from Ms. Texera once again. She went up first in Ward 5, and we've got some more politicians that have stepped in the house. Jean, he's in the house. Again, give yourselves a big applause for coming. This is something new. Like I said, I decided to do this on Wednesday. I came up with this idea, and Sammy approved it, and we put it together, and I just want to bless and thank everybody for coming out here. Also, guys, when you come up here and speak, we're actually going out live on YouTube throughout the city of Brockton, so you want to make sure to speak to the constituents, so make sure to make some eye contact with them there, and good job. Like I said, this is new, this is something different. I'm already thinking about making some tweaks and some changes to this already. That's how I am, but it's a good thing. I feel like I wanted to give 7 minutes, but I feel like 7 minutes might be a little too long, so I might drop that to 5 the next election. But it's good stuff. The next person who is coming up here to speak is going to be running for Ward 3 School Committee, Anna C. Oliver.
Hello, Ward 3 residents, friends, and family. My name is Anna Oliver, and I'm running to be your next Ward 3 School Committee. As you can see, I am in my scrubs because I am working hard. I take time and I dedicate every role that I take as a nurse, as a mom, and as an educator. And next role that I want to be is your next Ward 3 School Committee member. Right now, I'm asking all families and residents of Ward 3 to please go out and honor me with your vote on Tuesday, November 7th. And the reason why I'm asking you for your vote, I'll be dedicating every possibility to make sure that your kids are safe in their school. Also to work with parents so we can be united with the educators, so we can become one, so our kids can see that we are working together for them. And once our kids notice that we are working as one, we can empower them to use their voice so they can make changes within their school that they see fit will work for them. When we work together as parents, as educators, as administrators, and also empower our kids, we will have successful generation to come. But when you stay home and don't vote, we are failing our kids. And at this moment, we cannot allow our kids to fail any longer. They have done enough damage, as we can see what's going on within our walls of school system, that we need to work together and vote on November 7th, no matter who you're voting for, but you need to go vote and not stay home and complain. Don't complain to each other. Don't show videos about what's happening in the school and thinking that's going to make changes unless you use your voice at the booth on November 7th. Make sure that you are speaking for your kids. We are no longer going to stand still and allow what's happening each day to our kids in those schools. So when we work together, we unite, we stand. When we divide, we fail them each day. And I will truly be honored to have your vote on November 7th as your next Ward 3 school committee. Thank you. Gotta go to work.
Thank you so much.
No problem. You don't have to use the whole 7 minutes, people. So again, she did good. She did great. Let's have a big hand. She's running for Ward 3. And I like that. She got her point across and let you know. Don't forget, people, if you have some type of social media or something that you want people to check out for this election, please do make sure to mention that one. Let me see who we got here. We've got the next person coming up is running for school committee, Ward 5. She's very familiar with the city. Please welcome Cynthia Rivas Mendez.
First of all, I want to thank Ward 5 for hosting us here, especially Sammy Sorgio for opening his doors for us. Also for Keith for having this excellent idea of 48 hours, right? Which is, for most of us, we probably know who we're going to vote for, but those that are undecided, I hope to earn your vote on Tuesday, November 7th. In about 48 hours, you will make the decision to take a vote, to use your voice and make sure you are heard. Many times we think that one vote doesn't matter because things will always remain the way they are. But I want to tell you that your vote matters. Local elections impact us directly. And when we decide not to vote, we give up some of our value. When things impact us negatively, that we feel it personally, we ask ourselves, why? And many times the answer is the people we have put in power and the decisions they make impact us positively or negatively, short or long term. Running for office isn't easy. You literally put yourself out there in your family. However, I truly believe this is my purpose. The past 4 years on the school committee has been a learning curve for me. I have learned that many times my colleagues and I do not see the things the same way, and that it is okay to disagree and to push one another. Diverse opinions and challenging one is what helps us grow, reflect, and do and be better. This year, we have the opportunity to make sure that our school committee is diverse. It is the turning point in this narrative. People that have strong ties to Brockton have chosen to live here and want to make sure they pave the road so our kids can be successful and be proud of Brockton. I am one of those votes, and I believe that I truly represent this community that my family and I have decided to raise our 2 little boys here. I am an experienced educator and a passionate advocate for social justice. I have a background in special education, and I have spent significant time on the front lines supporting and empowering students with unique learning needs. I serve as a coach for new teachers, providing them with guidance and motivation to thrive in the classroom. Through individual mentoring and coaching, I help these educators deliver the highest quality instruction to their students. In addition to my work in education, I have dedicated the past 4 years to serving on the school committee Ward 2. During this time, I authored policies to ensure the sustainability of the Brockton Public Schools. I have asked the difficult questions, always having our students, families, and community in mind. I formed the Diversity, Race, Inclusion, and Equity Subcommittee, where our main goal and purpose is to make sure students and families are part of the decision making and to share their experiences. I played an important role in the hiring and forming of our EDI office. I believe in making all efforts in retaining our educators, especially our educators of color, especially our Brockton homegrown educators. And I have made sure that biannually, all school committee members take a training
on centering equity in policy, practices, and decision making. Now I am running to represent Ward 5 with a strong commitment to advocating for families and ensuring that students receive a high quality education. My focus is on fostering consistent partnerships between families, schools, and the community. As a mother, I always look at things with my own children in mind, putting their safety, their feelings, and education at the top of my list. I'm committed to keeping these priorities for Brockton families. I will continue to make sure that our students and families are doing well emotionally, that all of them feel seen, not mattering their backgrounds, and that they feel safe and are safe. I believe in the importance of continuous learning opportunities for educators, and I emphasize the need for educators to develop and grow their cultural responsiveness by promoting equity, diversity, and inclusion. As a representative, I will continue to advocate for increased funding and resources for schools. I am dedicated to ensuring transparency in the school budgeting process, effectively using the city's resources. Through my extensive experience and unwavering dedication to education and social justice, I am poised to make a positive impact in Ward 5 and beyond. Together, we can empower families to advocate for their children. We will encourage all students to unlock their full potential, and we must ensure that every child receives a high quality education. We can, we will, and we must. Use your voice by voting. Eastsiders, vote for Cynthia Rivas Mendes to represent you and elevate your voice. Thank you so much. Take care.
One more time for Cynthia, please. That was good stuff. She came prepared. This is exactly what I wanted to do. It's strategy. When I thought about this event, it was kind of a last minute thing. But then I started to think, and being a political guy and knowing politics, I felt like, wow, now the political strategies come into play. The visibility, the things that people can do. Now we've got two people here who are running for counselor at large, and we also have another gentleman. He's here. He's running for Ward 6 ward counselor. So I'm going to get up here. Let me see here. I'm going to get up a ward counselor, and I'm going to let the two counselor at larges go. So let's give a big hand. Right now, he's running for Ward 6 council. Let's hear it for Joseph Alexander Walker.
Like when I've got like a minute or so left or something.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. And first, I'd like to thank Sammy and Gigi's for holding the event, as well as Keith and Sinister One Protections for putting this together on such a short notice, and everyone that's come out to see us tonight. My name is Joseph Alexander Walker IV. You can call me Joe. It's less of a mouthful. And I'm running for Ward 6 City Councilor. The reason I'm doing that is we need a lot more accountability and transparency out of this city. There are a number of issues in the ward and the city of Brockton that I plan to address and work my very best on. The first issue that I want to talk about is Remova Park. If you're not familiar, we used to have a beautiful park that extended from Howard Street almost to where the baseball fields are next to the Brookfield School. And instead of a sports complex being built there, which was the plan, what we've had is an illegal dump that's been operating there for well over 4 years. And we have got to get that park restored into an area that we can enjoy again. If we at least can't get that sports complex that was promised already. And I'm not sure that we can at this point, not with the city in its current condition, but we deserve a park. We also deserve that the other parks in our city get the much needed and long delayed attention and restoration to make them usable and clean and safe. I've heard reports from people in the ward finding everything from, I'd say it's used condoms and needles in our parks, and that's unacceptable for an area that we expect for children to be able to enjoy. The other area that I want to work on is our infrastructure. Our roads, we all know, are crumbling across the city. There's no reason why going down our roads, you should feel like your teeth are gonna get rattled out of your head. We collect over $11 million annually in excise tax, and we need to start making sure that that money goes to our roads so that we can get them resurfaced and have reasonable roads in the city. We also need to work on getting a reliable emergency water source for the city. That is not Aquaria. Despite giving them $8 million a year, they are consistently breaking down. During the last municipal election 2 years ago, they were down for weeks, unable to produce any water whatsoever. We also put them on a 30-day test to produce enough water in the city. They only pulled it off on 2 days. 4 days during that test, they produced not a single gallon of water. And they didn't even produce half the amount we need during most of those 30 days. That's an issue. We should not renew that contract. And finally, the schools. We have neglected them for years, and that's how we got into the situation we're in. We need to have the right staff. We need to have the right services. We need the right programs. We need the right safety protocols, and we need the right oversight in our schools. And we need that now. And I'm going to advocate for those things on the schools. Now, it's great that we have this audit that's taking place in our school district. That's not enough. It's great that we're doing it, but we need to audit the entire city to identify just wasteful practices that we have had for way too long that have gotten us in the situation. Brockton is a beautiful town. We've got great resources. We just need to allocate and use them properly. So why am I qualified? First of all, my background isn't in politics. My background is in IT. I've got over 25 years now of experience in IT. I've managed teams as large as 26 folks. I currently work for a Fortune 500. You may have heard of them, John Hancock. I am the lead data engineer for their US data office. I understand technology, and I understand how technology projects should be run. And the city is trying to modernize itself in many ways, and I can provide the guidance and insight that we need to make sure that our IT projects are on track and are being implemented properly. A good example of that is the $14 million that was overspent in the school district. The reason why, and Troy Clarkson explained this at the school board meeting, was that Munis, the system that manages the finances as well as many other aspects of the city, had way more people than there ever should have been that had the rights to override the limits that we had already set in the system. And it's not just, the problem isn't just that it was overspent, but how did those people that should have never had those rights in the first place get those rights? And that's poor practices in management of the IT resources in this city. And this affects us in many other ways as well. I'm going to work also to encourage more engagement and participation in the community. And one of the ways that I'm going to do that is by holding regular ward meetings. The first ward meeting that I hold will be within 30 days of me taking that seat. That's a promise I'm making to you. Write it down. We need to have engagement. And the only way that anyone is going to effectively manage their ward or the city, if you're running at large, is to have meetings that invite people in to share the ideas, the concerns, and comments that we need so that we can move the city in a direction that benefits everyone. Finally, let me point out that if you'd like to visit my website and make any donations, it's walkerforward6.com. I'm also on Facebook as Joseph Walker for Ward 6. I'm looking forward to representing this ward to the best of my ability and getting Brockton back on the right track. Thank you very much. My name is Joseph Walker.
All right, he took it right to the mark. So real quick, just want to tell you something. This is something, like I said, I've been building. Please, please, please. I love the energy in this room for the first time, but please hold your applause while they're talking, because this whole key to this event is to try to sway the undecided. So you don't want your applause to hurt your candidate that you're supporting because you're clapping over the great points that he made. Now, he brought up some of the stuff involving Aquarian stuff, and I'm a guy, like I said, I'm very knowledgeable about this city. I'm very knowledgeable about the things that go on. How many of you here take a look at your water test report that comes every year. I think it's around July. Did you see this year's? What was in it? You tell me what was in it. What happened?
They took away the extra water taxes on us that they implemented the year before because they couldn't figure out what they would do with all the spending on that. So, yeah.
Nope.
Are you looking for the water quality report?
Yes.
I could tell you about that as well.
Yes. What happened?
Water is not good. And when they went to take the water from Aquaria, the pipes were broken. If Brockton had owned the pipeline from Dayton to Brockton, we would have been paying millions and millions of dollars to have that restored. We've already paid $90 million, people. We have paid $90 million in Brockton taxpayers' money, and we have not had one drop of water supplied to Brockton citizens. It may have been used to do test pulls. It may have been used to do some excavation of some of the pipes around there, but not one drop was ever served to a Brockton resident, and yet we paid over $90 million a year for this water. $90 million, and they want to pay more, and then they want to buy it. Does that make sense? So let's take Aquaria, and they say they want to pay $78 million for it. It's valued at like 12.9, and under that, because then you got to do all the fixes. Right,
well, the other thing was too in this quality test report.
Dennis Iannari, who's right there, he knows what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm absolutely right with my figures, am I not? I am. Thank you very much. The second thing is that how much did we have to borrow to subsidize the pension fund for Brockton?
Well, let these guys speak on this. Because I'd like to have them speak on this.
And one last thing. Why are we proposing to spend $55 million on buying the Carney tax the fairgrounds when we can't get it right here? $14,500,000.
So why are you not running for office?
I did before, but I ran against Jack Lally, who's got the city's power behind.
So you got to run again,
right?
You got to keep running. You got to keep running and keep running.
No, I got a family that I have to support and take care of, and I'm getting out of Dodge as soon as I can.
You still got to run. One of the things that came up in this water report, people, PCBs and lead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Was high. It was allowable numbers, but what I was told was, and I believe Mr. Jeffrey Thompson from Ward 5, he checked in on it, and I believe one of the things that they found out was that there is a system in place that's supposed to check the levels of PCBs and lead. Well, the system had broke down, or something that happened with the system, and what happened was that the numbers came back high. They found out that it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, so they had to rush, and they had to get it taken care of. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. But right now, again, Serge, give Sammy a big applause for this event, because I'm looking at all the people that are here right now. I'm seeing some big political people here that are running. I'm seeing some people who are here from Brockton political history. Dennis back there. He's one of the guys when I was younger, going to East Junior High. My family moved me here. So just to give you a little thing about me, I moved to Brockton in '78. And there was a reason why I was moved to Brockton in '78. It was a political reason. Why I was moved here to Brockton in '78.
Same reason my parents bought here.
In 1978, my dad moved us here. I was growing up in Mission Hill, Roxbury, Boston. I was one of the first black kids that were part of the busing program. The thing here was that I was considered high honors, super high honors. I was actually double promoted. I skipped a grade. And when they started busing kids, they bused a lot of black kids to South Boston. Boston, going from Roxbury to South Boston, those are still blue-collar people. I was actually one of 8 kids bused to the Alexander Hamilton School in Brighton, Massachusetts. So not only was I a black kid going to a white town, I was also a low-income kid going to a rich town. So it wasn't like just going to South Boston where there's still blue collar and it was just about color. I was shipped to Brighton with a state police actually at that time it was MDC police, MDC and National Guard. Every day I went to school, my bus had crap thrown at it, the N-word, and my dad actually moved us to Brockton to get better schooling. So that's why we moved here, and I'm kind of getting a little choked up because it was a tough time growing up, and I thank my dad. Because my dad, one thing he said that first day going home, there were tanks. It was crazy. And my dad said, "What did they say to you?" And I said, "Well, I got called the N-word, this and that, and this and that." And I remember my social studies teacher was the only black teacher in this school in Brighton. Why? Because he was an affirmative action hire. And one of the things we did was that we ate lunch in his classroom. So when lunch happened, we ate lunch together because we knew we weren't welcome. And when I went home, I told my dad, I said, "I don't want to go back there. They call me the N-word." You'd be in school all day with kids of a different color. You're making friends. You come out, and the parents run up and take them away. "Don't talk to that N-word. Don't talk to that monkey." And one of the things my dad said is, "You're a smart kid. You're here for a reason. What did they call you?" "Well, they call me the N-word. It's just a word. Don't ever let anybody take your education away." And I continued on through school, went to Southeastern Regional, graduated in '84 at like 16 because I was double promoted, got a job at the MBTA 2 years after graduation, worked the MBTA for 23 years, and now I'm up at Logan Airport working for Massport for Logan Express and Paul Revere Transportation. I've been to Virginia Tech. I'm trained and qualified and certified in EMS, environmental management systems, so I know all about fence lines and things of that sort. So when I talk about the things I talk about, I've got experience. So I just want to thank everybody because I'm blessed to see everybody here tonight. So give yourselves a big applause. So we got a couple of councilor lodges in the house here tonight. I got to thank this guy because this guy was on my show 3 times. 3 times we came on, we talked about his time in Brockton Emergency Management, and the tornadoes came through. And nobody here in Brockton, in this area, really took the tornadoes seriously, and it pissed me off. And I reached out to this guy. And then we had the second tornado come through, and some people's property got damaged, and then they realized real quick, we got to pay attention to tornado warnings because we're ignorant here in Massachusetts. So coming to the stage, let's give a big applause for Stephen Hook, who's running for councilor at large.
Thank you, everyone. First and foremost, thank you, Keith, Sammy. Thanks for hosting this great event. We're already winners, guys. All the candidates here, we've already won because we put ourselves out there in the best interest of Brockton. We all win or lose. We're all trying to make Brockton a better place, right? We all have different ways of going about it and getting to the end goal, but we all love Brockton, and that's why we're doing this. So a little bit about me. Steve Hook, running for councilor at large. I'm number 7 on the ballot. Born and raised Brockton. Been here my whole life. East Side, Ward 5 kid. Grew up in Adams Street. Now living on Hammond Street. Been in public safety for 30 years. Started when I was 19. I live, breathe public safety. Police, fire, EMS, 911 dispatch. So I know a lot about the issues, public safety issues in the city. I'm also the emergency manager for the city, 9 years. And over those 9 years, we've had some challenges. And, through my leadership and guidance, I helped the city get through a lot of those challenges. Many of you helped with that. And we had a lot of things go on in the last 9 years. I worked with 3 different mayors and different administrations. We've had snowstorms. We've had tropical storms. We've had power outages. We've had water emergencies. We've had no water in the city. The list goes on. COVID, of course. List goes on and on and on. I bring common sense leadership to these different crises that we have. And we have a lot of challenges in the city now. You know, Brockton's a great place. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I wouldn't want to raise my family anywhere else. But we certainly have some challenges. The homelessness issue. 1 block away, we have, people living under the bridge. It's a problem. And there's a lot of people in the city that write it off. Nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it. I'm not ready to write it off, okay? When I get elected on Wednesday, I'll be meeting with the police chief, Brenda Perez, who I know personally, and we're gonna discuss the homeless issues and what we can do for the police department to give them the resources they need. We also need to work with our state delegation and our state leaders, because this isn't only a Brockton problem, this is a state problem in America. And how do we correct it, make it better? We can't move people out from under the bridges because they're homeless, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on under those bridges. Crime, drugs, prostitution, defecation on the sidewalk, fires. We can do better. We can do better. So that's one of my first challenges that we have to get through. And we need to work, everybody needs to work together on the city council, along with our public safety leaders to get through some of this stuff. The other thing, I haven't spoke about this a lot, streets, roads, horrible. Good door knocking. Everybody I talk to, I say, what's your number one issue? Their number one issue is not public safety. Sometimes I hear about public safety. When's my street gonna get paved? That's my number one. You guys hear it? It's my number one question. When's my street gonna get paved? We really, as a city, we really need to invest. Enough with this one street a year every council. We need to invest some real money into these streets and infrastructure improvements. I have served the city for many years. I serve on the traffic commission. Traffic is another issue, right? We have a lot, I think we're the highest city in the state for pedestrian accidents and for cars into buildings. Every single day, we have cars into buildings. And we need to address that. And I hear that sitting on the traffic commission, I hear that all the time. I'm a member of the Public Safety Building Committee. We have a beautiful public safety building that's gonna house police, fire, emergency management, and city IT at the top of Legion Parkway and Warren Ave. It's really gonna clean up that area. I still sit the COVID task force. I know nobody wants to listen about COVID anymore, but the COVID task force still exists, still there. So the mayor and I, Dr. Herman and other people still have that COVID task force, and we meet quite often to discuss what's going on. I also want to mention that I'm proudly endorsed by the City Workers Union, Local 1160. I'm pro-labor, and our city workers work hard on behalf of all of us. So, and I'm also proudly endorsed by the Brockton Police Patrolmen's Association. So I'm very proud about that. Now, those don't come lightly because these unions typically do not endorse a newcomer. They only endorse incumbents. So I'm thankful that they've taken a chance on me and endorsed me. So again, my name is Steve Hook. I'm running for city council at large. I've never run an election before. This is my first one. So please vote for me on November 7th. I have a Facebook page, stevehookforbrockton.com. My phone number's on there. My phone's always on. If I can do anything for you, please call me. Thank you for your vote. Thank you.
Good stuff. You guys are doing real good. Give yourselves a big applause. I was bugging me on the Ustream. I had to shut it. So I got one guy that was running for council at large. Now I've got the second guy here who's running for council at large. Please put your hands together for Jean Bradley Durancourt.
start. Good evening. I am so happy, to be here. And I'll tell you why. I remember probably about 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. I was working as a busboy at Crystal's restaurant, and unfortunately, we don't have that place anymore. I think some of you probably know why. And that place I used to work in, still there, but it's an empty parking lot. And for me, especially, at an evening like this when it's pretty nice out there, find myself here at Sammy. Sammy, thank you so much for opening the door for us. And by virtue, put your hands together for him, please. That's it. By virtue of that memory, when I was working as a busboy at Christos while I was going to Massachusetts Community College, as I'm looking at those tables, it makes me feel like I'm back at home. It makes me feel like I wanna go in the kitchen, get a tray, and start cleaning tables. But I know Sammy's not gonna pay me. I'm not gonna do it for the night. But for those of you who do not know me, my name is Joadli Dunonku. That's the name. Some people call me Jean Bradley Bentoncourt, but the right pronunciation of that last name is Dunoncourt. And if you cannot pronounce it on election day, I'll make it easy on you. I will be the longest last name on the ballot, so you cannot miss that one. Let me just put it to you like this. The basic foundation of my desire to represent you is truly the diversity of Brockton. And by virtue of this, as somebody who's deeply involved in law enforcement, I can attest to this saying that we have an amazing city. We have a great place. The diversity that we have in the city is what I'm assuming so many places are looking for. And I could not be more proud than having an opportunity to live here. This election is all about you. This election is about the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, if not the next 20 years. The result or the outcome of this election will determine where do you want to go from now and based on what has been going on. Those of you who know me, you know me well. I'm a man of my word and I stand behind whatever that I say. I am fortunate to say that I am the only candidate in this race who has been endorsed by 1199, 588, 32 BJs, and 509. And I'm the only one as we speak in that race who's been endorsed by those organizations because they know I will fight for the little man and they know I will fight for the little guy. And I am so proud to announce that the Brockton Firefighters Union has endorsed me. They don't endorse me because they know me. They endorse me because they know that I am a hardworking person who is willing to go above and beyond to do this. This election has been nothing more than fun. It's been 10 months since I've been out there. Some of you have met me at your door. Some of you have talking to you on the phone. You receive my texts, my messages. It's because I believe in passing the message. I know it's not easy, but I know we can do this. I'm a positive guy. I don't believe in bashing X, Y, and Z. I believe in focus on what I can do. I am proud to see the former president of the Brockton Council, Dennis Ineri, here, whom I had the pleasure of working with when I was on the council. And I think he can attest to what I did when I was on the council by advocate for more fund for education, increase the budget for firefighters, increase the budget for the police department, and making sure that our kids can receive the best quality education. At the end of the day, when I'm looking at the city of Brockton, I don't just look at the west side or the east side or the north side or the south side. When I look at Brockton, I look at the entire city. The question is, how do we come together as a community to bring the best out of Brockton? I don't believe in putting somebody down in the spirit of lifting yourself. I think we have a solemn obligation, not just to live here, not just to run for office, but come up with the best platform in which we can sell our city. At the end of the day, we have so many negative comments about our place. And those of us who live here, we know that we have issues. So other places, we know that there are problems, and every major city has issues. And what I'm so proud of is the fact that we are the only city in the Plymouth County. We have the potential to create the bedrock of what we hope to become. And at the end of the day, we have to be bold, determined, and having the courage to challenge the system that has been there for a while. At the end of the day, it is our responsibility, not just as candidates, not just as people who inspired opening business and doing stuff, but as residents. I don't see myself as somebody who's running for office. I see myself as a young person living in Brockton with a desire to serve. And I would hope that would be the same way you are looking at the city. For me, public safety is key because when my mother stepped outside, I want her to be okay. When your father step outside, we want them to feel safe, not worry about X, Y, and Z, grab their purse and carry on. When we send our kids to school, we want to making sure that these kids are received, like I said, the best quality education. And at the end of the day, unless we have the willingness to work together as a community without thinking about those people and these people and come up together as one group to base that foundation. For me, like I said, in this selection, I give it my all. I give it my time, my energy, my money, and a desire to serve you. Regardless the outcome on Tuesday, I will embrace it. And I hope to become one of your 4 city councilors at large. And if you do not remember anything that I say tonight, remember that my name will be the longest name on the ballot. Thank you, folks.
One more time, let's hear it for Jean. Wow. Wow, everybody is coming through. I can tell you right now, nobody's going over the 7 minutes. And I see this is exactly how I wanted this event to be. This event, I wanted it to be strategic for the politicians who are involved in this race. I wanted this to be something, as more you thought about it, you say to yourself, man, oh man, oh man, this is something really I can change in 48 hours. And I want to give you guys a big applause. I got to give somebody some time here before I get to the next people to come up here. I got to get Sammy up here real quick. Please, please, please. I got to talk about you real quick. Come on. Please come up here. Let's have a big hand for. Because there is a reason why I picked this spot. And you know, Brockton has a lot of great places that have been in this city for many, many years. Sammy is one of the longest owners of a bar in this city. I think you need to give it up and give a big hand to Sammy for that, number one. Number two, a lot of people, when I set this up and put this out at the last minute, a lot of people were saying, well, you know, it's a nightclub, it's a bar. And I'm saying to myself, well, I get it, but y'all are at Joe Angelo's, you're at the Spot, you're at Tim Ray's, you're at all these other places that are also bars and nightclubs. Let's support some of the long-term businesses like Sammy's Spot, like Home Cafe. Cynthia Rivas Mendez and Ellie and these guys, they were down at Taste of Brazil, a new spot to have people come and meet. This is exactly what this is all about, this Vote 48. It's a strategy for politicians to say to themselves, hey, this is a different place. And I want people to leave here tonight and say that they went down to Sammy's Spot, and damn, it's a pretty good spot to have an event. So please give a big hand to Sammy.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so I'm going to get my next guy up here. He is actually a Ward 5 guy. He's going to be running for. Actually, we're going to get another councilor large up here. Let's do him. We're going to get Jamal Brathwaite. Where is he? I know I saw him here. Put your hands together for Jamal Brathwaite. He is running for councilor at large. So we've had 3 councilor at larges in the house here tonight. This is one of the races that I said on my show is tight. So they all recognize. Here we go, Jamal. Let me know when you want to start, and I'll hit start and the time will begin.
Thank you, Keith. I'm ready when you are. Give me the signal. I want to start by thanking everybody for coming out tonight and paying attention, whether you're here at Gigi's Pub, located on Crescent Street in Brockton, or whether you're at home watching on Facebook Live. I want to say thank you so much for staying in tune, because this is a very important election here in the city of Brockton in 2023. We have a lot of time-sensitive topics that need addressing in the city. As a way of introduction, my name is Jamal Brathwaite. I'm running for Brockton City Council at large. And the reason why is because I believe that Brockton deserves the best schools, the best roads, the best public safety, better parks and playgrounds, as well as better school lunches. And it's important that here in the city of Brockton that we understand why is it that we aren't where we want to be. From a school point of view, we are aware that there's a school deficit in Brockton. In Brockton, we currently have a school deficit crisis. Now, nobody running for elected office in Brockton is speaking that kind of language. And that's because they don't have an understanding of the problem or the solution. The problem is that we have what's called a lack of internal controls over financial reporting. And it's been going on for years. If you pay attention to school committee meetings, you'll notice that our CFO for the city had admitted that there were a number of people that had override access over the munis system where they make, where all the accounting of in the city is accounted for, over $500 million of monies. And what it is with this override access, this is one of the root causes for why we had overspending in our schools. So now the thing is that from an internal controls point of view, you want a city councilor to make sure we have the auditor come before the city council on a quarterly basis to talk about what control testing is taking place over financial activities. There should have been an annual review over user to ensure it was appropriate, but that has not happened in Brockton for over 3 years, because for the past 3 years, you in Brockton have been spending $1 million a year for an internal audit function, but you got nothing to show for it. You got no audit reports, you have no issues that require remediation, and you have no deficiencies documented, even today. And so for that reason, I'm highlighting that you need an auditor on the job. If you vote for me on city council, you'll now have someone ensuring that we have internal controls over financial reporting. That will improve the schools. That will also improve our roadways, because in Brockton, we spend about $8 million a year in our DPW spending, but we collect about $11 million in excess tax. So where's the other $3 million going? The thing is that we want to make sure that we use all our money wisely. When it comes to excess tax, that should go for road improvement. You all know in Brockton we need road improvement. Also, what's important is as a city council at large, I'll make sure I pass a resolution on a quarterly basis to ensure we have the mayor and the CFO come before us to talk about how we leveraging the U.S. Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act that brought $9.5 billion to Massachusetts. How is that benefiting Brockton? And it's important that we state, for the past 2 years, your mayor and CFO haven't talked about it in public. We got to discuss that. You need a city council representing your interests on that topic. Thirdly is we need to increase public safety to ensure public safety in downtown. We want to make sure you're safe. Fourthly is that we want to improve our parks and our playgrounds to ensure that our young people have safe equipment to play on. And of course, we need to improve our business environment. But the first, it starts by improving our roadways. It doesn't make sense for people to spend millions of dollars on businesses if the roadways look like the Flintstones. So we got to improve our first impression, our roads, our sidewalks. Let's leverage the U.S. Infrastructure Act. Let's conduct an appropriate review over internal controls to ensure that we have money for our children to go to school. We've got classrooms, but we got teachers. We have classrooms with no teachers. And that's because we have a lack of internal controls over financial reporting. So we're going to be hitting it hard on the audit point of view, improving our schools, improving our roads, improving public safety, improving parks and playgrounds, and ensuring school lunches improve. Because I listen to our young people and I hear about school lunches. We need to make sure they're looking forward to school lunches. And on that note, if you want a little bit more about my background, I've got a bachelor's degree in economics. I've got 3 master's degrees. I've got over 20 years of experience working in financial services as an accountant, a compliance officer, and an auditor. And these are the kind of skills you need in Brockton to make sure Brockton moves forward. Everyone running for office is a good person, and they all have good intentions for Brockton. But what we need right now is more than good spirit. We need skills. And I got the skills to make sure we improve the finances in Brockton. And that's only one of the many reasons why I'm running. I want to thank you all for listening. And if you want to help out with the campaign, you can go to voteforjamal.com and donate. You can reach out to me directly at 774 774-428-1525. Once again, that's 774-428-1525. I'd love to hear from you. Please encourage your friends, your family, and your neighbors to go out and vote on November 7th, 2023. If you ever had spirit to improve Brockton, now's the time. We need you to go out and vote. Thank you.
One more time for Jamal Brathwaite, please. Let's go. All right, good stuff. A lot of people still here in the house. I know I got someone here. I'm gonna get him up here, let him speak. I want to thank everybody first for coming through. This is a guy who's right now he's actually in the trenches. He's in the trenches with what's going on with the school situation. The funny thing is I do a lot of politics and things, and like I said, I'm up on a lot of things, and I feel like this person's getting unfairly bashed. Every time I've watched every meeting at the school committee meetings, he's been the loudest voice about transparency. He's been the loudest voice to want answers. He was one of the loudest voices who said that he wanted things done right, not to be sped through. I was there that night, and it was great stuff. I got to get this guy up here. This guy, Ward 4, he's your existing school committee member. He's a candidate for re-election. Please welcome Tony Rodriguez.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Sammy, for hosting this event. Giggies, thank you to all the candidates that are running for office. It takes a lot to take that step forward and try to represent your community in the best way possible. For those that don't know me, my name is Tony Rodriguez. I represent Ward 4 on the school committee. I will be going into my third term. I'm a long life resident of the city, 45 years. I grew up in the center of town, right there by on Chester Ave, and then I grew up to in high school. I went over to the west side, and then I currently live in Ward 4 for the past 25 years. The Brockton School Committee, when it comes to saying politicians, I don't consider school committee members being politicians. It's just that you have to run for office to get into that position, but it deals with education. To me, being on the school committee is the most important elected body in city government besides being the mayor or any city council. Not throwing any shade to anybody, but that's just my personal opinion on when it comes to being into elected office. Where do we go from here? As you know, we're dealing with a deficit. Is how do we work, together to make sure that this never happens again? And it takes a effort with the school committee, the city council, the mayor, and the community itself being involved in the process of when we do our budgeting. When I got onto the committee, I always questioned the budget process on the school side. It just didn't sit well with me when we have one individual giving the whole budget for the whole city. For those that's been on the city council, just picture the city CFO presenting the whole city budget to the council. You don't get no department heads, nobody that represents any of those departments, and it's just one individual. That didn't sit well with me. I questioned it. I still question it to this day. I know we're going to move forward to have the most transparent and open budget process. I strongly urge, and I've said this, that the community needs to be involved because that's one of the most important pieces besides us as the school committee members voting on curriculum and any other topics that come before the school committee. Well, it's been like Keith said, I've been getting bashed, but that's politics. You have to have thick skin. You ask yourself, why am I getting bashed? Everything that I said is true. It's not false. You can look it up. It's on record. Some people think that I should have never said what I said, but I said what I said, and I don't take it back, and I will never apologize. We were brought in front of the council, which we didn't need to go. The school committee doesn't respond, or the city council doesn't oversee us, and we don't oversee them. But at that moment, I felt that a lot of certain councilors were grandstanding against the school committee, And those certain city councilors that were grandstanding were former school committee members, which was very surprising. You know, when you sit there and you ask, you know, one councilor stated, how does a school committee operate? You were on the school committee for 10 years and you were a mayor. That doesn't make any sense. Then you had one councilor state, you know, how is the accounts review being done? Mr. Counselor, you were the chair of the accounts review when you're on the school committee. So you should already have those answers. So don't try to fix it because you're on the city council. And you had another counselor state, where was the financial reports? I've been here for 4 years, never had one. You were the vice chair for 10 plus years. You've never provided it to the school committee. During one of our meetings, I asked one of the longest, well, besides Mr. Denisinieri, Mr. Sullivan, in his 10 plus years, actually 12, if he's ever received a financial statement during any meeting. Clearly stated it, no. You can go back and watch. I always state it, go back and watch the meetings. It's there for you. It's live. If you can't make it, you could always go back and watch and see who's asking the tough questions. People get upset when you talk the truth. There is nothing, I am black and white. I'm in 23 years in law enforcement. I don't go off a gut. I go in what's black and white and what's record, what is there. So I will never apologize for anything that I said that is truth. At the end of the day, what they did was grandstanding. I put it to the side. Now let's all move forward as a city to make sure that Brockton Public Schools has the best education system in the Commonwealth. Let's be the leader moving forward. One of my main goals is to make sure that we have our own vocational technical school here in the city of Brockton. We have close to 1,200 students that are on a waiting list to get into these programs. After this election, whoever is here on the school committee, I'm going to be a big voice and advocate to make sure that Brockton becomes one of the meccas when it comes to vocational technical. And it's not just for day, it's for night, and it's for our community. So let's bring all of our community members, our partners, stakeholders together to make sure that we grow this and make sure that Brockton has the best education system in the Commonwealth. I'm not just saying in Massachusetts. Let's make sure let's work together and bring this forward. Thank you very much.
Wow, one more time for Tony Rodriguez. This is, again, Vote 48. This is something I want to do that people will say we were trendsetters here in Brockton. Something that every community, town, and city will say to themselves, man, that was a great idea. This is a very strategic thing. Now, Tony Rodriguez, he's running unopposed. So realistically, Tony could have been like, I don't have to be here. I'm running unopposed. But like I said, you may be running against someone the next time around, and sometimes stingy people who vote like me might say, well, damn, you took that for granted. I may not vote. So again, let's give a big applause for Tony for coming out here. As I said, he's running unopposed. He didn't have to come out here. He could have just sat on his laurels. But he came out here and he gave you his best 7 minutes. Also, one of the things he spoke about, and I gotta applaud him because vocational schools, man, like I said, I graduated from Southeastern Regional in 1984 at 16 years old in diesel theory and auto mechanics. In 1988, I got on the T as a fueler, under 21, did my 23 years, and like I said, now I'm at Logan. One of the reasons why I was a mechanic and worked my way up to a superintendent at the MBTA and now running a whole facility at Logan is because of Southeastern Regional, a VOTEC, getting my hands on, getting dirty. VOTECs are the way to go, people. I have a facility right now in Chelsea. I'm short 4 mechanics right now. I need mechanics. Most of these kids coming through, they don't have their CDLs, they don't have no mechanic knowledge. So Tony, I agree with you. We need the VOTECs back in a big way to teach these kids trades. A lot of people used to look down at teaching a trade, but to be honest, the hands-on jobs are really the only jobs left, because everything else is getting AI'd out and automated out. All these college jobs that kids are getting, they're getting automated out. So VOTEX, the hands-on, the plumbing, the AC, HVAC work, the hydraulics, the carpentry work, construction, crane workers. Like I said, if you know, and I'm telling you right now, if you know anybody with a CDL that's looking for work, send them my way, because we're training people. We're helping them get on. Logan is back to putting everything out there. So we need mechanics and we actually need drivers. So Tony, I want to thank you for that. I got another guy who just stepped in the house. I'm truly blessed that all these politicians have come out. This guy is running for school committee. Let's hear it for Ward 3 candidate Matt Stanton.
Thank you.
I know when to start.
What's that?
So let me know when to start.
Oh, you can start right now.
All right, cool.
All right, I know it's like a 7-10 minute thing, whatever it is. I probably don't have that. I gave up stand-up comedy a while ago. That's all it said. I'll give you what I give at the doors. My name is Matthew Stanton. I'm running for Ward 3 School Committee. I ran unsuccessfully 2 years ago, came in dead last. It did not deter me. I pretended like I won. I go to every school committee. I try to get the subcommittee. If the city council or the finance committee has something on the agenda that says schools, I'm there. I sit in the seats with my notebook. When the school committee votes, I pretended how I would have voted. When the school committee has people come before them that they can ask questions of, I write down what questions I would have asked. I come with an urgency for every child in Brockton that is in Brockton Public Schools. We need to do better for them. It starts in the neighborhoods. Keith and I had a conversation the other night. It really does. It starts in the neighborhoods. It starts in the homes. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know their children. If you don't have children, still stay involved. Get to know your neighbors' children. Keith and I were talking the other night, report card day. Report card day when I was a kid, everybody in the neighborhood knew it. If my parents sometimes weren't the first ones to see my report card, neighbors might be home first and say, hey, how'd you do? We need to get involved. More people need to get involved. Go to the school committee meetings. Unfortunately, far too often, there are not many people in attendance, other than the ones that have to be there. And we need to do better. Like I said, I have a notebook full of questions, notebook full of ideas. I believe I could work well with whoever is on the committee, because it's not about us as individuals. It's about every student that is enrolled in Brockton Public Schools. We need to do better for them. We need to make them ready on graduation day for the world that awaits them. I have visited schools in Central America, Europe. I talked to an educator from the Ukraine 2 days ago, originally from Brockton. He's over there now educating in Ukraine, a war zone. So that's it for me. Like I said, ran 2 years ago, dead last, pretended like I won, showed up every day. So Tuesday, November 7th, when you go to the polls, Matthew Stanton, Ward 3 School Committee. Since there is no incumbent running for this seat, it will be alphabetical and my name will be listed second on the ballot. I thank you. I thank Keith. Thanks, Sammy. I haven't seen him in a while. And I thank everybody that came out tonight. Thank everybody that's on the ballot. You're trying to better Brockton. And that's what we should all be about. All right? Thank you.
All right, one more time for Matthew Stanton, please. I gotta get somebody up here if he doesn't mind coming up. Dennis, would you mind coming up here for a second? No, like I said, I moved here in '78. I was involved with politics. He's one of these early guys that, I was, for some reason, my parents must thought I was crazy, because I would be out here holding signs for Spillane. I was holding signs for all these East Side people. Dennis is one of these guys I held signs for when I was a little guy. And, this is the type of guy that I wanted to make proud putting on an event like this. So please give an applause for Dennis, please. Dennis, you're
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And as you can see, I was called to the East Side today because of Mr. Sergio. So when he called me, that means you got to come to the East Side. and I lived here for 40 some odd years plus, so that's why I'm here, and I still look at the east side as my home turf. I love looking at my old homestead on Crescent Street on Erie Avenue. I'd like to see my homestead on Crescent Street a little bit more brighter. It's only across the street from Alexander's, but other people bought the building sense, and you know how things go. But I still look at it the same way, as that's where I begun, and I did that for 20 years. I was on the school committee. So if you want to know things about the school committee, talk to me the next time, and don't worry about some of my former colleagues. And I won't disagree with you. I won't disagree with you because a few of them like to put on a show, and I won't. They can come back and say whatever they want. They can come back and say whatever they want about me. If someone's even listening, if somebody gives, I don't care, because I can get away with that now. But I do say this. I'm still involved in the city. I'm a member of the parking authority. The mayor asked me to take a spot because we were looking for people to go on commissions. And if anybody here is interested in a commission, I mean, if anything, maybe reach out even to the mayor's office too and see if you can get, some information, because we are in a need. And I will say this is the first time now in many years, and I pushed it with another council before I left 2 years ago when I left from retirement. And what we were pushing for is that if we're going to have commission people come on, as you are and others that are always willing to do things for the nothing, and that doesn't mean you want to be paid, but at some point you had to do that to get some people to come in. And so we've done that. I made sure it was done when I was going off, you know that. So I wanted to make sure I got my little piece of the action. No, I didn't. But I just want to make sure that people this way here, you can now say to some, you are getting paid to be at a meeting from 7:30 to 9:30 and 10, like license, zoning, planning. You go there, you come home from, for supper and saw the kids, and now you got to get back out. I got to go to the meeting. Well, at least now you get a little compensation. You know what I mean? It's just like having a little part-time job. But if you know some people that are interested that would like to come on, we need some others on there. Really, we really do. I do want to, really say what you're doing here right now. I think is very good, very great. And Sammy and I talk at least once or twice out of the week, and I'm like I just said, I'm involved. I'm always out and about. I haven't gone away at all. I think I see Larry sitting over there. No, there we go. See, yeah, he doesn't go too far away either. He's been around in the political arena, and believe me, he was in the political arena there, and was number one person to help to make sure that God rest his soul, that Bill Carpenter became mayor and did a well job of doing that too. And there is times when we still miss that person as well. But I give you all the credit of what you're doing here. Sometimes you don't get the people out that you want, but that's okay. That's okay. They're going to go back, and someone's going to hear about it, and you got other ways you can still face it out there for the next 40 hours, because that's what you need to do. The thing is, you need to get the people there, and that's what we're hoping for. Everybody. And without that, it's going to be difficult without. But I think you do fine. And again, anytime I can pitch in, you know how to get in touch with me. He has my numbers. Anytime you want me to help, I'll be glad to help, because I still want to see Brockton keep going. It's a new Brockton, let's work it. And as I've always said, color-coded creed doesn't matter to me. We all want the city to be refreshed, and let's get going. And we're doing that, but we want to stay on that. That's what I say. I don't want to see us going down a bad road. And somebody told me an incident just happened. And I still hear about things. Someone told me about an incident that was just happened under the, I think we're one of the homeless people living under the, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm afraid of. And you see what's happened throughout, and it's sad. It really, really is sad. So that being said, I appreciate being, asked to come up and speak at any time. I would do that anytime, anywhere. And to all of you that are on the ballot, get your people out. I know what it's like. It was 20 years ago to this election when I became the council of Ward 3. I sat there for 18 years. I did a lot in Ward 3. Some people would say no, but I say yes. And yeah, I see there's another important man that just came through the door, so I'm not gonna interfere with that gentleman. No. But anyhow, thank you for allowing me to come up, and good luck to everybody on Tuesday. Remember, election day, get your people out there. Thank you.
I am totally blessed for him coming out. This is a guy, like I said, that I grew up politics early on, and again, you know, he said, you know, there's not many people, but look, I'm just telling you right now, I'm sitting here with chills because I'm looking at all the people that are here, and I'm looking at the politicians in the House right now that showed up, because that's where I'm gauging this and how, like I said, how strategic this is, how important that this Vote 48 event can become in the city of Brockton. Like I said, when I spoke with Sammy on Thursday to even talk about and set this event up, I was expecting 3 politicians to come through. We've now had 11 politicians come through here for this first event, Vote 48. It is one of the most positive, strategic, I think is going to be one of the biggest events that Brockton could see. So all you politicians in the House, give yourselves a big hand. We still got another politician right here who's coming up. And I got word that one of the mayor candidates is definitely coming through. And like I said, that's what this Vote 48 is about. It's very strategic. If you want to come, you come and speak to those undecideds. You're coming to speak, but that undecided that you could sway could be the positive. Like I said, for some that weren't here earlier, Ollie Spears lost Ward 5 by 4 votes one year. 4 votes. So you think if you had a Vote 48 back then, Ollie could have got those 4 votes just by coming to a Vote 48 and swaying those on the fence and undecided voters. So this next guy I got to get up here, he is running for Ward 4 councilor. Please welcome Mr. Tony Branch.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You know when you're ready to start.
All right. I'm ready to start. I'm a preacher. Listen, I am glad to be here. Keith, thank you and your team for doing great work to make sure that the message is getting out to the city of Brockton that voting is so very important coming up on November 7th of 2023. So as Keith explained, I'm running for the ward councilor in Ward 4. And I've said from the beginning, I'm not running against anybody, but I am running based upon the ideals of those that have been talking to me over the last year and those that I speak to with respect to knocking on their doors. I'm a reader of literature, a lot of faith-based stuff, and I was reading something from Rabbi Hillel, died, I believe, 10 BCE, and he ended his speech, his communication, by saying, if not now, when? And then we fast forward to Dr. King, who is in the Birmingham jail, and he gets a letter where he tries to address why the civil rights movement was so important. If not now, when? We are in a crossroads in the city of Brockton, and I've talked about this for a decade. We remain a city divided. We remain the tale of 2 cities. And when I say the tale of 2 cities, we all know that those that are politically connected to the development of the city making millions of dollars. I didn't say thousands, making millions of dollars. And then there's people that look like me and you. Now, when you say people that look like me and you say, oh, here he goes talking about race. No, I'm talking about you. We're all in this together. We are all in this together. Give that a hand clap. So I don't want to hear this is about race. This is really about the political class that has run the city for 60 years. And if you know your history, you know who their names are. They remained in positions not hidden. The last names are familiar at the district court. The last names remain familiar at City Hall, Superior Court. Their names remain familiar within the school department, within the housing authority. So I've been one not afraid to talk about it. And the reason why I can stand strong and talk about it even more boldly is because we're the majority. And we ain't going nowhere, ain't that right? So if not now, when? If not now, when are we going to look at the housing in Campello Towers, the modernization of those apartments for the disabled and the elderly? If not now, when are we going to talk about, instead of saying yes to $55 million for a fairground, a dilapidated piece of cow yard? I said it. I know he's going to be mad. He's going to call me tomorrow. I said it. $55 million for that, and yet still we can't invest in youth programs. We can't do something better for education in the city of Brockton. When you look at the $55 million, I need to talk about that just a little bit. You look at the roadways in the city that have not been redeveloped, that are being redeveloped so slowly. It's not fair. Those of you that are property owners, your property taxes are way up, but you're not getting city services. If not now, when? Are we going to be able to tell our grandmothers and children that they're able to cross the streets because the lights are working and those flashing things are being installed correctly? If not now, I'm on camera? Yeah. I'm talking to my people here. Yeah. If not now, when are we going to talk about doing what is best in terms of increasing the total number of vote tech spaces at the high school? Now, I'm going to go a little bit further. You all have heard what the acting principal of the high school has talked about here. Now, I want to share this with school committee members. No principal at any high school in this Commonwealth should say anything about that high school, but it being positive. There is never an expectation that the high school be talked about in a negative way. I have a problem with that, so I'm going to tell y'all that. There's a problem with that. It has to come from the chair of the school committee or school committee members or the superintendent. There's a reason why. Kids see the principal on a daily basis. They need to be encouraged that he believes that the pace of change can be made. It is now time overdue. We all wanted a public safety building. We all wanted that. But like I told folks, no, it should never have happened before a new high school. So if not now, when are we going to decide that the high school census is so high? It is now time for two. Think about it. It is now time to split it north, south, east, or west as a high school. It is now time. The time is now. There's no way to continue this footprint on managing that big high school the way that we're going. If not now, when? When I knock on doors, I hear people talking to me about racing cars up and down Plain Street in Montello, 70, 80 miles an hour, only to hear our chief say that, a lot of this, in terms of the MBTA, is based upon talking to the MBTA police. If not now, when are we going to begin to solve the problems of the city of Brockton and stop telling constituents, stop telling voters that it cannot be done? It can absolutely be done with those that are bold, consistent, and willing to tell the establishment in this city, the old boy. Now, when I say old boy, OLE, the Old Boys Network, your time is up on November 7th, 2023. Don't be with me. Be with your neighbors and say enough is enough. And the time is now. My tag has always been for the last 4 years. City Hall belongs to the people of this city, and by God damn it, we're taking it back. Thank you.
Questions or no questions? One more time for Tony Branch. We've got some food here, people. Once again, I got to thank Stella's who stepped up and provided this food. Let's have a big applause for Stella's again. Another Brockton business staple here in the city. This is what I was talking about with bringing new people into this fold for the election. The pizza's almost gone, so please, please, please step right up. How many of you guys are you liking this Vote 48 format? I think before we get out of here, I should have did this first to go. Can we get all the politicians up here? Because I think we need a big picture to be able to post so we know everybody who showed up here. Can we just get all the guys and ladies up here, please? I should have did this earlier. And we can get a nice picture. you guys got time, you can come up, take your picture. I think this is gonna be it. Step back towards that thing. Step back. Step back. Step back. Yeah, get together. Right. All right, guys. Pictures in.
Glasses off, smile.
You and I.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We done?
Man, like I said, I messed up. Get your pictures in. Oh, Mr. Keith just came in. Hurry up, get in here, Mr. Keith.
I will not say.
When I said money, everybody smiled.
Follow the money.
You already look really good.
Follow the money.
Are we good?
Yep, we're good.
God bless you. God bless you.
All right, we're gonna get another speaker in here. He just came through the door because I gotta save the heavyweights for last. No, you made it. That's all that matters. Oh, yeah, man. Dude, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. No, I'm blessed. 12 people. This is strategic. Just showing. Let me see if he's ready.
All right, I'm still live here.
This is a gentleman. He's been on my show also. Another guy coming through here, veteran. He is running for Ward 3 Council. Put your hands together for Gary Keith.
Good evening, everybody. And thank you, Keith, for having this forum for us to showcase what we're doing.
Oh, it is your phone.
Hi. Again, my name is Gary Keith Sr., and I'm running for Ward 3 City Councilor. And I see our former councilor, Ward 3 councilor in the back there. So if I do win, I got some very big shoes to fill. So thank you. You set the example for all of us to follow. Again, my name is Gary Keith Sr. I'm a 35-year resident of the city of Brockton, married for 37 years to my wife, Kathy. We raised our 7 children here in the city of Brockton, and we now are expecting our 9th grandchild in December. I'm a little late getting here because every other week it seems like we have a birthday party in our house. I'm also a U.S. Army veteran, which I'm very proud of my record. I've been running for city councilor at large since 2013. And as you know, the field is always pretty large. It's hard to get in, but and as you can tell, I haven't made that yet, even though I was coming close, but I never gave up. And after the election loss, I never stopped serving the citizens of Brockton. I mean, immediately the next day, if I was needed, I was out there in the trenches. I've also served on the planning board for 4 years and the zoning board for 4 years. And I loved every minute of it. I love serving, period. It's what, when I look back over my life, serving must be what I was born for, because that's what I do. It's just serving your community. Okay, it's serving your neighbors. It's serving all those that are around you. So, as you know, I'm running for Ward 3. The thing is that where I live in Ward 3, we haven't really had the representation after our, not the incumbent right now, but after the Ward 3 council that we had prior to that, we haven't really had any representation in Ward 3 for the past 2 years. No one knows who he was, and there just wasn't anything getting done. So I decided to pull papers for Ward 3 instead of running for at-large again. And after that happened, the councilor dropped out of the race for personal reasons. And so here I am. I did pretty good in the primary to where I topped the ticket in Ward 3. And I'm hoping that come Tuesday, you guys feel the same way and vote for me again. The reason why I'm asking for your vote is because of the fact that you know my name. You know I've been doing this for a while, and it's not a hobby. Okay, it's something that you have to have in your blood. You have to have it in your veins to actually want to serve. It's a dirty game, the way some people play it. Okay, listen, I've been kicked down, I've been talked about, I've been lied about, I've been stomped, everything else. Okay, but still, I'm here before you today because of the fact that you matter. You matter more than them kicking me down. I'm just one person. And as I've said earlier, as a black man growing up in Brockton, as a black man, period, growing up in America, can you imagine what would have happened to the African American race if Martin Luther King had just gave up when they stomped him and hosed him down and everything else? I'm not saying I'm Martin Luther King,
All right, King.
okay? But you got to do more than that to keep you from serving the city's citizens of Brockton. This is where I live. This is my home. And you protect your home, okay? You protect your home. With every bit of blood, sweat, and tears that you have, you protect your home and you protect your family. Well, guys, you live in Brockton, that makes you my family, okay? And there's nothing that I won't do to help you. If it's possible in my body to help out Brockton, then that's what's going to be done. I'm not saying that I'm the savior, but I know that in the past, we have not had anyone that we could really go to and count on. Okay, look at the state of our city right now. We are in turmoil. Okay, we're in turmoil. We got people that are sitting in our government right now that are handpicking people to run against other people just so they can align things the way they want them to, which I think is totally wrong. Okay, let the people decide who's supposed to be getting into the seats. Okay, don't pick. And what are you patented for? Okay, what are you patented for? The thing is that there's something wrong in Brockton. You don't have to agree with me, but you all know I'm telling the truth. Something's wrong in Brockton, okay? And we need to fix it. And we need to fix it by letting the people decide who's going to represent them.
Yes.
And not someone handpicking someone to where they can align someone that's going to vote with them on everything that they want to have done. We are missing $14.4 million. I'm not saying it was stolen, but it was still missing. Okay, misappropriated, put it whatever word you want to it, it's gone. And they haven't figured it out yet. Something's wrong in Brockton, okay? We had people, and I'm sorry to keep bringing up your name, Dennis, but we had people like you who actually was accountable to what was going on in Brockton, okay? I watched what was going on. Like I said, I've been running for office since 2013, so I'm not new to this game. So with that being said, you know my record. I sat on the planning board and the zoning board. I've helped numerous businesses, citizens. I actually helped Team Challenge put a 64-bed extension onto the back of their building to fight the opiate addiction. And then after that, as I was standing there with them at the completion of it, I told them, I said, you have enough room back here for another building. They actually built a 15-month short-term facility on that property to fight the opiate addiction. That's just one thing in our city. We got bigger problems than that. We have people that basically feel that they're entitled to mess with everybody else in our city. Okay? And I don't know, how long?
5 seconds.
Okay. I'm tired of it. But my name is Gary Keith Sr. I'm running for Ward 3 City Councilor. I have not been handpicked. Okay? I've been out here every day knocking on doors, asking for your vote. I'm asking you to vote for me on November 7th, which is 2 days from now. Get somebody in there that you can trust. Thank you. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Mr. Keith. All right, big hand for Mr. Gary Keith, please. Again, he is running for Ward 3 Councilor. And I got word that Cynthia and Jamie are going to be showing up, but I'm going to bring one of the heavyweights up here. Yeah, Claudio has rescinded. He's working, he said. So it's Jamie and Cynthia Hodges. They're on their way.
Who else is here? Let me give a resident.
You know what, before I get the head, I want to see if I can get a resident up here to see anybody want to come up here and just give their thoughts on this real quick? Anybody want to come up here, a resident, to come up here and just speak about this event and just give their idea about this event as a resident? We got one. We got two. I'll let them speak because we've got some time. I just want, because like I said, this event will work every election. Like I said, I'm already seeing the strategies. I'm already seeing a lot of stuff here. This, like I said, Brockton can be a trendsetter with this Vote 48. So as a resident that votes, I'd like to get that opinion. So make sure to introduce yourself and then go from there.
Hey folks, some of you know me. I'm Michelle Henson, Ward 6 resident, over 30 years. And I was so glad. Thank you, Gary. Thank you for doing this, Keith. And thank you, what's the gentleman's name in the back? Sergio. I've not met you and I'd like to do that because what a great space. I didn't even know this space was here, but we could have done, and there's plenty of space for events like this. And this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Please. Oh, I'm gonna let folks know. 8% people, we had 8% during the primary. That is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I am personally embarrassed for my city. All right? This matters. All the things going, I'm trying to retire here. I'm trying to age in place. As you see, I have health issues, so I don't want to hear if I have to sell my house and end up in senior housing that they're crappy places. That doesn't make me feel safe as a disabled senior in this city. It doesn't. We need our people. Thank you for the people who are running. I don't care who you vote for. Just get out and vote, please. Get out, get your people. This is our right. This is our city. This is our schools. These are our kids.
Can I talk disabled seniors?
Yes.
Senior housing?
Yes.
Statement on that?
Well,
you can go up in a second.
I am going to finish because I have someone who I know has something to say about disabled seniors in
I just
housing.
moved into senior housing.
And someone with more experience than me. So please, get out and vote, people. Let's do this. This is our city. Let's show it.
We're actually live streaming. You want to come up here, sir? And introduce yourself.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
My name's Richard Ripley, aka the Bat Bus Guy. I have a podcast, and I've been trying to get some attention in the city because the city sent me a certified letter about a threat on the Bat buses. They did an investigation, and BAT did an investigation. They confirmed my 80 violations of public safety on the BAT buses, and the drivers were disciplined. But the problem I'm having with the mayor is he has yet to tell the people of Brockton what's going on. The pregnant women, the children, and the elderly seniors like myself getting on the bus. I nearly fell 4 times on the bus, and I'm 67 years old. And I've emailed the mayor, and I've spoken with Mayor Sullivan, and I've emailed nearly every sitting city council member, and not one of them will answer my question. Do the people of Brockton have a right to get on a public bus, the BAT bus, without the driver illegally moving the bus and threatening their safety? The only one who has answered that question is Jamal Bratworth right there. The only one that answered my question that is concerned about public safety on the BAT buses. Now, what I want to ask today when these city councils get here, and I'll say it again when they get here, I have no problem with that, is I want one of them to step forward and do the right thing, the human thing, and put politics aside and bring a resolution before the city council to have BAT come before the city council and explain to the people of Brockton what this threat is, why it's still going on for 1 straight year now, and it's still going on today. And no one has addressed this with the people of Brockton. And I think the people of Brockton have a right to know. Every city councilor, all your constituents, why don't you take care of your constituents? You talk to your constituents. You go around the city. that person you're talking to, that young mother, could be the next victim on the public bus. I'm asking one councilor, just one, to listen to your conscience and step forward and do the right thing for the people of Brockton. Put politics aside, because someone is eventually going to get hurt on that bus. And I'm trying to prevent that. I don't want that to happen. Any questions? I'll take over.
No.
Raising public awareness, public safety.
So, Mr. Ripley.
I ran for mayor too and lost in the political.
Hold on. So,
and I have a letter from the city with me right here that says that
he's got the letter.
You know what? So here's the deal right now. I would love to see that letter. You want to know why? No. I want you to send it to me. Because as I said, I worked at the MBTA for 23 years. I started off as a fueler at the MBTA. I worked my way up to where I was one of 8 superintendents for bus operations. I oversaw Cabot Garage in South Boston. I oversaw Charlestown Garage, which was one of the biggest garages. I also overseen Arborway Garage, which was over in Forest Hills. I also overseen Southampton Street, which ran the Silk Line. So when it comes to buses and safety and public, trust and believe me, I know what this city is supposed to do. So I'm real curious to see, because now I'm over at Logan Airport for Paul Revere Transportation, which is the blue buses that you guys see going back and forth to the airport. I'm handling a contract right now where I'm sending those buses out to Midwest to get overhauled, to get their midlife done out at Midwest, and getting those buses back so they can decide what they're going to do with the bus service at Logan Airport. Trust and believe me, when it comes to somebody who knows something about public transportation and buses, oh, I damn well know about it. I can just let you know right now, Gary Keith knows me. You know about me in the T. Like I said, the MBTA paid for me and sent me down to Virginia Tech to learn emergency management systems, environmental management systems. So I can tell you right now, there's a lot of things in this city that needs to be fixed. I can let you know, because a lot of people's businesses' fence lines in this city is a humongous crime. I take the commuter rail train into Boston every day, and I go on the backside of all these businesses through Brockton, and I can tell you right now, there's at least 10 businesses or more that you could go right out there and find their asses right now for improperly storing chemicals. When the gentleman talked about Remover Park and what was going on up there, I was one of the people quietly behind the scenes sending information and saying, hey, they won't let you on the property. You know what you can do? You can get a drone. Put a drone up in the air. Take pictures of that property and what he was doing, because he was crushing stone. Okay? One of the things that I do know about is environmental management systems and transportation. I already know that Connie was upset with me because Connie was bringing in dirt from somewhere he was digging and storing it in the fairgrounds and wasn't covering it up, and it was blowing into the people on Othello Road's houses and stuff. And I said, whoa. Everybody said, well, you know, he can do what he wants. No, he can't. That dirt's supposed to be covered with tarps so the wind and possible PCBs from the road is not blowing in their windows. So when it comes to public safety, transportation, environmental management systems, oh, hit me up. I'll look it over. I'll look it up.
I just want everyone to know, I'm doing a podcast. I'm producing another one tomorrow. It appears on Brockton Community Access Channel 9 on Monday and Friday at 7:30. And if you go to my podcast, it's at Bat Bus Guy, all capital letters. I have a few things on there too that will explain everything that's going on. Actually, I'll get you. I'll come right on.
All right. So we got one of the heavy hitters in the house right now. This man is running for mayor. He was one of the finals to come up and go against Robert Sullivan, Fred Fontaine, and like I said, vote 48 is to swing those undecideds. There's a margin to pick up. It's events like this, 48 hours outside, that could provide that swing. So coming to the microphone right now, let's hear it for Fred Fontaine.
My brother. Yes. You're doing a beautiful job.
And
thank you for the
you get 10, mayors
I'm not gonna take 10. I'll take 10 off probably 6. You know?
That's okay.
Because I got to go just to the point. You know?
There you go.
All right.
All set.
Ready?
Ready.
All right. Guys, listen up. There's a lot of noise behind here. Listen, this election right now gonna be depending in the next 2 years what's gonna happen to all of us here. Seriously, it's not a game. What I'm doing by running for mayor is I didn't have to do this. Seriously, I don't have to do this. I could have taken my money, go somewhere else, enjoy myself like Dennis is doing right now, you know. But listen, no, seriously, this city is in very, very dangerous problems right now. We do have issues of homeless, school, road. People are moving out. People are tired. Are you not tired, guys, of what's going on? I am tired. But when you're tired, don't give up. Stand up and fight. This is what I'm doing. This is what Guy is doing. This is what the bishop doing. Many of us, doing it because we believe we do have a beautiful city. But it's up to you. Ah, there you go. He's fighting too. Yeah. Mr. Rip is fighting as well.
I still got a voice.
There you go. Keep that voice going. That's good. So listen, we get Tony right here. He's fighting for the school as well. That's a shame tonight. I don't see none of those guys already here who's messing up the city. None of them showed up. Where are they? No, this is a shame. So they are hiding to make sure they get re-elected to finish with you folks. They're going to finish you if you give them 2 more years. And we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to allow that. I'm so tired of this, and I don't know, there's so much to tell you folks, I went this morning talking on the radio, I heard a lot of folks, I say that again. Oh, I'm Brocktonian. I was born here. Oh, I love Brockton. And where are they?
Where are they?
Where are they?
Where are
So if you love Brockton, you should stand up and fight for Brockton. This is what we right here are doing. If you really do love Brockton, don't be like a wimp, sit down your fence behind, who looking at us fighting for you. No, don't be afraid. So you're afraid of Solomon? Oh, no, he's my friend. I got to tell you, Solomon is my friend. We know a long time. In 2009, when I ran as a city councilor at large, Larry was there, as a matter of fact. I mean, he's still a good man. Don't get me wrong. He's still a good man. It's just the question is, he cannot handle the city. He cannot. So this city needs new leadership, starting from the top and down. We get to change most of those guys. Some of them are, it's good, but some of them, they get to go. We got to get new folks elected. Yes, we do. Because when you have a politician for so long on the seat, they become complacent and they don't give a damn about you. So every year or 2 years, whatever, if they're not doing it, get them out of here. There you go.
Absolutely. And Larry,
I thought that was just Larry behind me, no? Is that him?
why are we paying them? Why?
Yes.
Why did we hire people who could do their job and not cost the taxpayers more money? Why?
We have to allow them their 10 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Please.
I agree with you. I understand you're upset. I'm upset as well. I am upset as well. But we got to make sure we don't get upset to really go over the board because they all represent Brockton. They just don't know what they are doing. That's all. Yes. They just don't know what they are doing. But believe me, we got some great people in this city, even though they were not born here. Like, for instance, we get that gentleman here, very smart man. Jamal. Very good many here. Great people. We get Tony right here. We get, Mr. Keith right here. We got some great people here. But we could really do something about these folks. Bring them in. And I always say that. What do you have? We get, Bishop right here. What do you guys have to lose? In 2 years, they don't do their job. Get them out of here as well. But replace what you have right now. Because they're not doing the job that we deserve. Yes. This administration right now, I'm talking about, let's just be a little bit, this was a friend of mine, I could tell me that. I could tell you this. Listen, it's not a white, black, Cape Verdean, black issues. It's a Brockton issue, guys. It's a Brockton issue. Regardless what color you are, what breed you are, whatever you are, if you're not concerned about Brockton, your kids, we're going to be the future of Brockton. What do you care for? For yourself? This is selfish. Think about those kids who's coming up after when we're gone. The legacy you have to leave is what you leave when you die, and you leave something for those young folks coming after you. This is what matters. Yes, this is what matters. And Mr. Sullivan is fighting for his pension. This is the difference we have. He's fighting for his pension. And I'm fighting for Brockton. This is a big difference. If you give him 2 more years, what is he going to do? It might be worse. He might not even stay those 2 years. I don't know. He might not even stay for those 2 years. But let's just say you give him 2 more years. It's going to be a distraction. Basically, if I was him, I would resign. Because people are going to come to me, hey, Freddie, where's the $14 million? Every damn time. I'm going to have to turn my head, where's the $14 million? I cannot explain where's that $14 million go. And it could be more. So it's going to be a distraction. I'm trying to help him out. I'm trying to help him out because he needs some peace. Because it's going to take a long time. Because he explained where those $40 million go. He didn't take it. But guess what? If it was me, Freddie, you stole that $40 million. Where is it? Get him out of here. I'll be gone a long time ago. There you go. Double standard. So, listen, I know some folks don't like change. I know some of you, it's hard to change. It's like you used to be somewhere else and you go to Gigi, good for a man, long time, right? Long time, I was like, still looking good, my man. So, the company says, I don't want to come here. Why not? It's a beautiful place. You could enjoy it as well. So change is necessary sometimes. It is necessary when it's not working well. Not working good at all. Suffering. Children are suffering. We have parents who don't want to bring their kids to live here. They're moving out and send those kids to some other school. We are losing money. The city is losing money when you don't have your school functioning right. They go somewhere else. How many of you have kids in Brockton High School now? Oh, there you go. So, always a fight. There's always a fight in Brockton High. Those kids are not safe. I heard the city might have a visit of the state, maybe Monday. I don't know. Tony, you heard that? Well, that's what I heard. But anyway, we need folks to take charge of this city and also be accountable. City councilors, wherever you are, if you are listening to me today, when I get elected, you're going to have to do your job as well. All city councilors, it's not sit down here. I know it's a part-time job, but if you don't like it, don't take it.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
All right, you raised it up. But if they don't like it, you're not doing your job, don't take that job because you have to serve the population that you
5 seconds.
Yes, you deserve. So anyway, 5 seconds. Okay. on November 7th, right? What you have to do, vote for the right person who's gonna be in charge for the next 2 years. Vote for Fred Fontaine, vote for all those guys who's here tonight. They're going to represent you. Again, I love you guys. God bless Brockton. What's Fred?
Get ahead with Fred! Get ahead with Fred! Get ahead with Fred! Get ahead with Fred!
One more time for Fred Fontaine. So I got two more people that are on the way. Again, a big applause for everybody here coming through tonight so far for this event. And you know, I'm hearing about him talking about accountability and things of that stuff with this city. And there's, you know, my name, Keith Hayes, Sinister One, is thrown out around here a lot in the city of Brockton. I talk about my time in the MBTA. I talk about my time on Logan Airport. But my name is also tossed around, for those who don't know, in Brockton behind closed doors. For some who don't know this, Keith Hayes is also one of the reasons why I know some of the stuff that goes on behind the city and the bad things. Because Keith Hayes is also one of the top 5 who were involved with the lawsuit that almost bankrupted this city in discrimination. I was one of the people, when I left the MBTA, I applied for a job at City Hall, for a job in the DPW, Brockton Department Works, back in 2010. Back in 2010, because a lot of people bashed Bill Carpenter. Bill Carpenter wasn't in office when this happened. Bill got dragged in the mud. Back when I dropped my resume off in 2010 to the city of Brockton, and this is something you guys really want to hear because these are the type of things that are going on behind the scenes. In 2010, I had my resume, 23 years in the MBTA, certified in EMS, dropped my resume off. I'm not even going to mention her name, to City Hall. Never got a call.
What?
Never got a call. 2013, same position. Never got a call. Never. 2 years ago, I get a call from a lawyer's office who was handling this case against the city of Brockton. And they said, hey, you Keith Hayes? I'm like, yep. Did you apply for a job in 2010? And then 3 years later, yep, I did. We're going to call you back. We'll be in touch with you. Okay. All right. I get a call back later. They said that they're running this lawsuit for a gentleman here in the city of Brockton. They said, we have a copy of your resume right here. And this is how stupid the people were that ran this operation behind the scenes. On my resume, in the upper left-hand corner, they wrote AA for Afro-American on my resume and put it in a different file. Twice.
What year?
2010 and 2013. This is why this lawsuit happened. One of the other things that happened was that there were some white people who got money out of this lawsuit. Why? Because the people who were up there that were so ignorant about race, they looked at your resume, and if they saw you went to Massasoit College or Bunker Hill College, you could have been white, but because they were so ignorant, they assumed that you were black and put your resume in the circular file. This is why the city was almost bankrupt. This is why I collected a check from the city of Brockton. A lot of people don't know that about me, but now I'm letting you know that the stuff does go on, and you need to vote to get those people out. Because I collected a check because of racial discrimination here in this city. And when people say, that don't happen in 2010, that stuff, Keith Hayes, is old. No, it ain't. Trust, believe me, it still goes on. And like I said, there were people who were white who were hurt by this because the ignorance. And here's the crazy thing about it. Here's the even crazier story about it. The white person who was hired for that DPW job got on the job, And I was told there was a comment made to him about the N-word not getting hired to work in the DPW. This gentleman on his toolbox had a picture of a black female. It's his wife. So he went downtown. This is what blew the whole case wide open. It almost bankrupted this city. So again, it's out there. So you need to use your power to vote. 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 Real quick.
I want to say something on voting. I want to tell everybody a secret. The incumbents in power right now in office, their worst fear is an educated and informed electorate, you people. They do not want you to vote. They know that if you vote in large enough numbers, they will be out of office. So what I want you to do is let's prove them right. Let's vote in large enough numbers to get them out of office. And remember, Brockton is your community. Brockton is the city you love. It's where you raise your family. It's where you go to church. It's where you celebrate holidays and weddings and anniversaries. It's where you start traditions. And you need to take back your city. You can take it back if you choose to. Don't listen to the people who tell you, oh, I don't vote because everything will be the same. It won't be any different. It will be different if you want it to be.
Right.
So again, please, on Tuesday, make sure to vote.
Even though it's not on the city calendar. Election day is not on the city calendar. I submitted it is not. I submitted a request to get it added this afternoon.
Was it added this afternoon?
Election is not on the city
Well,
calendar.
the school is closed. I mean, I believe it is.
Joe, let us know about
The city calendar?
The Brockton city events calendar list. Yeah, let me speak.
So I get a text. Yeah, can you explain that? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. Hello, everybody. So in Brockton, we have something called the Brockton City Events Calendar. And on the Brockton City Events Calendar lists all the city meetings of importance. And one of the important activities would be election day. But unfortunately, it's not on there. So that's a lack of awareness.
Whoa.
So yeah, we got to do something about that.
So I can actually confirm this because on my iPhone, if you go to the City of Brockton website and you sign up for the city calendar, what happens is that it puts all the events on your calendar as an event. So I'm looking at Tuesday. Hold on, and let's see what we got here. So we got Monday, we got Tuesday, and I'm gonna look for it. It actually is on here, but it's
I
listed.
submitted it this afternoon.
Yeah, they must have just put it because it's election day, and it says notes national. Well, no, actually, this is not the city of Brockton. This is the national one because it's in orange. So this is the U.S. one. So the city does not have it because I can tell you right now, on Monday, I have the non-certified negotiation subcommittee meeting at 4:30. Can anybody verify that? That's coming? On 4:30, and then at 7 o'clock, there's the non-certified grievance subcommittee meeting. So this comes right from the city website. So it is kind of crazy that I've got both of those on here from the city of Brockton, but I don't have election day.
Okay, there's nothing on the 7th or the 8th of this calendar.
Yeah, no. So.
The raw voting, early voting location was posted on the website.
Shaw Center?
Yeah, but it said Westgate Mall.
Oh, it did. Oh, see, I've carried it on my show, and I had Shaw Center. So
people were going to the Westgate Mall looking to vote. They just turned away.
wow. So I'm supposed to have 2 more people coming, but they're not here at this time. But they are supposed to be showing up. They said they are showing up. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. There's still plenty of food over here. Again, a big applause for Sammy and Stella's. Because like I said, this event right here is, I'm kind of speechless right now because like I said, I thought of this while on the train going into work on Wednesday, talked to Sammy on Thursday, put this event together, and to have 12 to 13 politicians show up, it's great stuff. So Cindy and her, Jamie is supposed to be coming, but I want to thank everybody for coming out here. Make sure you guys speak amongst each other. There's some food here. And again, Tuesday, please make sure to vote. Thank you.